Hi, welcome to our video series for ArcGIS, Getting to Know ArcGIS 10.4. So now we are in Chapter 17, Exercise A. This map document contains U.S. states and Wisconsin census tracts. Notice the blue lakes, they are not actual features, but symbolized by means of a blue background color applied to the data frame. We're going to open the attribute table of Wisconsin census tracts and examine the information stored there. Notice the FIPS tracts field. It's right here. To join non-spatial data to spatial data, the two data sets must have a common field. Recall that the ERS data was collected for census tracts, each of which has a unique identification number, identified by the Federal Information Processing Standard, or FIPS. Federal Information Processing Standard. So next you will examine the ERS Food Desert dataset. The raw dataset is stored in a Microsoft Excel file. We're going to close the attribute table. So now we are going to use the Microsoft Excel as an alternative. You can preview the table sheets using the item description a comment in ArcMap catalog window. So now we can start our Excel and open food desert underscore data. Excel. Now we're going to open it up in Excel. So now I have Excel 2016. Now we can see there are some columns and rows, columns and state, and we have tons of it from Alabama until there are tons of it. And if we scroll down, wow, it's a huge data set here. Because the row data you see AL is Alabama, and now we have so in Alabama. Arizona. So here you notice that the spreadsheet includes data for all 48 continental states. Hawaii and Alaska weren't included in this study. We're going to scroll back to the top of the spreadsheet. Now scroll across and examine the column headings. So now we have a state and county name, and then tracts FIPS. So it's from here variable lookup, and state, county name, tracts FIPS, Federal Information Processing. Federal Information Processing, and S is system. Standard. Try to remember that FIPS we use a lot. Federal Information Processing Standard. Okay, now we're going to scroll back and look at the variable lookup tab. So what we already did, and we're going to minimize Excel. Click this, minimize. And on the standard toolbar, we're going to click Add Data button. Back to ArcMap. Add Data button, and we're going to add data. We have to navigate to Chapter 17 and data and food desert data Excel. And you can see the icon is a little different, and we're going to double click this Excel table, and now we see the three part here, and we're going to click data and with a money mark, dollar mark, and then we're going to click add. So Excel worksheets add to ArcMap have a dollar symbol appended to their names. The data table is added to ArcMap. Then the table is added to ArcMap. The view of the table of contents changes, and the button at the top is switched from the drawer by list by join order and change into the list by source. Now, that is because a table isn't drawn in ArcMap, but it is part of the map document. In the table of contents, we're going to right-click the data dollar document and we're going to open. In the track fields, an attribute identifies census tracts and is the common attributes that will be used to join the tables. Notice the size of the table. There were 6,050 selected records. This table includes every census tract in the United States, but only the records that have a match in the Wisconsin census tract attributes table will be brought over the join operation. In other words, ArcMap finds all the food desert information that pertains to the state of Wisconsin and appends it to the Wisconsin tracts data. Then it may be displayed on the map. We're going to scroll down to find the data records for Wisconsin. So it will be way back down for WI, Wisconsin. Almost there. Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and West Virginia, and YI is Wisconsin, and it's right here. Wow, that's a lot of data. Now, notice there are often several tracts per county, but it will be important here. We're going to right-click Phipps track, and on the shortcut menu we're going to click freeze and unfreeze column, and we're going to scroll the way to the right. Right click, freeze and unfreeze column, and then we're going to scroll to the right, and how about let's make it a little bigger so we can see better. So we're going to scroll all the way to the right. The track Phipps column is moved to the leftmost position. It's right here. And then in the table, and does not move when you scroll. So now, what does the percent HUMV field measure? If you have forgotten, we can just go back to look at it in Excel. So number of housing units without a vehicle with low access to a supermarket or large grocery store. Wow, it's hard. So now what does the percent of that? Percent of housing units without a vehicle with lower access to a supermarket or a large grocery store. So both the food desert data table and the Wisconsin census tracts layer attribute table contain one record for each census tract. The record relationship between the table is therefore 1-to-1. For each record in the Wisconsin census tracts table, there is no more than one matching record in the food desert underscore data table, thus making a good choice for a join operation. So now to do that, we're going to close this window, and we're going to, in the ArcMap table of contents, right-click Wisconsin census tracts, and then for that, we're going to right-click on it, joins and relates, and there is a join, and we're going to click that, and it will bring a window pop up. So you can also execute join operation using the Add Join Processing tool in ArcToolbox Data Management Tool Joins toolset. For large join operations, the geoprocessing tool is recommended. So now, in the upper portion of the Join Data dialog, in the first drop-down list, we make sure join attributes from a table. So now here, what do you want to join in this layer? We're going to make sure that join attributes from a table. And now here it is selected, and in the first entry box, we're going to click the drop-down arrow, and we're going to click the FIPS tracks. And this specifies fixed traps as the common attribute in the Wisconsin Census tracts table. In the second entry box, make sure the data dollar table is selected. In box 3, make sure that the tracts FIPS field is selected. And this specifies tracts fields as the common attribute in the food desert table. Notice that ArcMap automatically populates the second and third entry boxes, but you should always check to be sure the correct fields are selected. So in the joint operation selection, you want to keep all the records, so maintain the default setting. So note that choosing to keep all records doesn't mean you are bringing all the food desert records over to the census tract table. Rather, it means all Wisconsin census tract records will remain, even if there is not a match in the food desert table. In fact, in this case, there won't always be a match because the food desert table does not have a record for every census tract, but only for tracts that qualify as food deserts. In the resulting table, census tracts that do not qualify will have null values in the newly joined fields. So now we're going to click OK, and ArcMap joins the attributes of the food desert _data table to the Wisconsin census tracts table, matching the records by their FIPS tract numbers. We're going to open the attribute table of the Wisconsin census tracts layer and scroll to the right until you see the shape area field. Now we're going to scroll all the way to the right. And now we can see that to the right of the shape area are the fields from the food desert data table, which are shown using field alliances. Field alliances are a more user-friendly description of the content of the field. Any alliances can be changed in the field properties. So we're going to turn off the field alliances by clicking the Table Option button, and then click Show Field Alliances to clear the selection. Now all fields names show a prefix, in this case data dollars, that identifies the source table that the attribute comes from. This is a good way to distinguish joined fields from original fields if you are not sure. And resize the US dollar tract fields field to see the entire name. Let's see, where did it go? Right here. So use the knowledge you gained in the previous videos. We're going to perform a select by attribute query using this SQL statement. We're going to do that in next video. Thanks for watching.